exciting day in Old West Brownsville, and today we're presenting the Property of the Month for the Historical District. And we're presenting it to this wonderful home built in the early 20th century. It's a Victorian transitional style, and it's been really well kept and preserved since its restoration, which occurred a few years ago. And Mr. Mendez was actually instrumental in saving this property. It was on the condemnation list. It was almost certainly would have been demolished. It was probably just with months away from being demolished when he bought the building, invested in the building, brought it back to life. It's certainly good for another 100 years, and that's what's really exciting about this property.
I drove by it and I saw that there was a lot of good characteristics, a lot of historical features of the home that were still intact and preserved, and I always thought it would be a good property to restore. And when I found out it was actually on the demolition list, I said, there's no way this house can get demolished, we got to save it. So I was fortunate enough to be able to purchase it through a tax sale. And then we started working on it. It took about 6 months to actually do it. And once we did it, you can kind of see the finishing results. We made sure that we kept everything intact as best as possible. It's got the original floors, a lot of the original features, pocket doors that are original. And it's really added a lot to the neighborhood. And that was really kind of one of the things that I saw when I drive by. I said, this house can really transform this neighborhood. How can we make sure that that happens? So I took it in my own hands to actually do it. Was fortunate enough to be able to do it. And here it is.
March will be 3 years since we moved in. We weren't ready to buy a home. We weren't looking into buying a home. Craig Grove actually posted on his Facebook page, and I told Oscar, hey, maybe we should go and just take a look at it, because we did that. Nobody knew, but we did that with our homes in the downtown area. And we got here and we loved it. We fell in love with it, and we were planning on having a baby soon, so we thought this was the perfect space. And like I said, it's almost 3 years now, and we absolutely love it.
It's nice because we're living in a world where everything is faster, cheaper, but at the same time more generic. And it's good to find that personality again, that all buildings or everything in general have more authenticity, more something real.
Preservation is important in Brownsville because Brownsville is one of the most historic cities in Texas. And that's something that a lot of people take for granted. Not many people that live in Brownsville actually know that it's one of the most historic cities in Texas. Most people say it's the second most historic city in Texas. And a lot of the times, most of the development in Brownsville is north. The trend seems to be going north. But there's a lot of neighborhoods in Brownsville, particularly West Brownsville, that have a lot of the infrastructure, a lot of the historic fabric that made this city what it is, that is still there. It just needs somebody to actually go and uncover it, or somebody that appreciates it. And once we get like-minded individuals to go and start doing that, that's how we transform our community, that's how we transform our neighborhood. Research has shown that younger people prefer a mix of old and new buildings. And that's where the activity is in other cities in Texas and the United States. A lot of the activity, whether it's arts, culture, entertainment, all of that is in neighborhoods that have a mix of old and new. So I think that it takes a certain type of person to appreciate what this is, and that's what we want to see in Brownsville.
We were actually planning to move to the Austin area until we found this home, which I think was a sign for us to stay here. We love these style homes. We love this area. It's quiet. We know our neighbors. Everybody's super sweet. And I mean, you do have your occasional parties, but like I said, you find those in all neighborhoods. Yeah.
Yeah, in my case particular, I was raised in Mexico, and we always had that kind of sense of community. Right now we're living in times that open your door, you close your door, and everybody's just going straight. But here you have that sense of, hey neighbor, how you doing neighbor? You see, like I was saying, Roman and Trey, you see kids playing outside, and that's a new again, because right now you don't see that no more, and that gives it a sense of breathing, living community. That's nice.
The process of picking a property of the month is really something that the Heritage Council decides to do. I think several members kind of drive around the neighborhoods or kind of see properties that stick out. And really what we want to do is we want to take one or two houses per month, kind of highlight those houses and show that these houses are what we want West Brownsville to be, which is we want to maintain the historical significance of the home. We want to make sure that the historical features are intact, and most importantly, we want homeowners that care about their property and care about the charm and history of their property, and that take the time out of their day to make it look nice, give it the curb appeal that it has, and really just give the love that the house deserves. If anybody's interested in nominating a property for the Property of the Month, they can get in touch with Roman McCallum with the Heritage Department, and I'm sure that the board will be happy to look at it and consider it for next month.